Hey there, welcome back to the vlog. Good to see you again. Now, as you know, recently I got my iPhone 10 and I've been really happy with this. I've been looking around on YouTube though, and there are 4 common things that people bring up that they're not happy about with their iPhone. These 4 problems I'm going to take a closer look at, and I'm going to tell you why they're not actually a problem at all. So it's easy to say I'm nothing but impressed with the iPhone 10 now that I've had it a few weeks, and I'm going to look now at these 4 things, these 4 problems that are commonly coming up in a lot of videos on YouTube, and why I think these problems aren't problems at all. So the first one, and the most common one that you're going to see, is that this bezel at the top of the iPhone, people are constantly complaining that it's cutting down into screen space. I think they've got that backwards. If you have a close look at the bezel, you'll see that it's not cutting down into the screen space, but rather the screen is extending up into the unused space around the sides of the bezel. This allows them to put the clock and the utility icons up into that unused space. In previous phones, it was held up like this, so the time and the utility things were cutting down 6mm into the screen. So what you've done is you've actually got that 6mm of screen back by pushing the extra edges of the display up on the sides of the bezel, which were previously unused. So actually, instead of the bezel actually using up screen space, they've extended it up so that you're gaining screen space back. Now we hear the same thing quite often for that swipe bar at the bottom. Now a lot of people, I've heard a few people say that because that swipe bar is there and you can't turn it off, that's using up a few pixels at the bottom of the screen that could otherwise be used, and we never had that there with the home button. Now with the home button, I think you'll quite plainly see, uses up a hell of a lot more space than that swipe bar, and the swipe bar is only there when it's usable, so it does indicate when you can use that swipe. I do agree with some people that are saying, hey, that could be disabled or turned off and give the screen space back, but really it's about 1mm of space, which is giving you nearly 1 centimetre of screen back that you didn't have before. So once again, I don't actually see that thing as a problem. I see it as quite utilitarian. The third common problem that we hear is the passcode time. And so if you lift the phone up, you pull that up, it tries to do Face ID, and then it brings the passcode up. I don't understand why people are unhappy about that 1-second thing that you don't need very often. Now, a prime example of when this might be needed was brought up the other day by Sam Sheffer, when if you're in New York in the middle of winter and it's really cold and you're having to wear a balaclava and goggles and a helmet and stuff like that because it's so damn cold outside that if you don't have that your skin will fall off, then obviously the Face ID is not going to work. My question is, why would you be outside in New York in that kind of cold weather having to wear that much stuff but not have gloves on? The argument's a bit lame, and I don't think that 1 second on the very rare occasion you actually still need to use the touchpad is a big deal at all. The last one, of course, is the lack of a fingerprint scanner. Now, I don't actually see this as a problem myself at all. Now, it's well known that Apple and I believe Samsung and I think LG, you can check me on this one, we're all trying to get a fingerprint scanner working underneath the screen on the phones. None of them quite managed to get it to work as well as they would like it to. Apparently it's a functioning technology, but it just isn't quite right and isn't quite doing the right thing. Personally, I think the Face ID is working a lot faster and quicker and more accurately and works more often than the fingerprint scanner ever did. On my iPhone 7 Plus and my iPhone 6 earlier, the fingerprint scanner would quite often not work if I had been out getting some exercise and it was a bit sweaty, or I had something on my fingerprints, or my fingers were damp or anything. The fingerprint scanner just doesn't work when you're in any of those conditions. It's only if your finger is clean and dry that it actually picks up. And then quite often I had to go for another finger and stuff as well. With the Face ID, I never have to worry about that. It's worked just about every single time. The only time the Face ID hasn't worked for me is when I'm holding the phone sideways. For some reason, the Face ID doesn't rotate. Hopefully that's something Apple will fix up. Generally, it's not really a problem, and the touchpad, the passcode pad does come up pretty quickly if the Face ID doesn't work, but that's not very often. Anyway, those are the 4 things that I thought I just wanted to debunk, because I don't really see them as being a problem. And frankly, if that's all people can come up with the iPhone, that's pretty damn good in my book. So go out and get yourself an iPhone X if you want one. Yeah, they're a bit pricey, but don't forget you're paying for a hell of a lot more on the iPhone X than you're getting in the iPhone 8 with those dual stabilized lenses. I love it. I wouldn't have got anything else. So that's about all I got for this one, just a short vid. I just wanted to cover those off and get them off my chest. I hope you like this. If you found it useful, please hit the subscribe, like, notify bell, and leave a comment below and all that sort of thing. Don't forget also have a quick look in my video history and find my giveaway. I'll put a link to it in the description below as well. That I'm going to be drawing in about 48 hours from now, so do make sure you leave a comment there so that you'll be in the draw and you can win that awesome little tripod-y thing. This one. Okay, have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.